They don't look too happy, do they? Anyway, protests erupting in Pakistan after President Trump tweets that the U.S. is going to withhold hundreds of millions of dollars in military aid to Pakistan, saying that we're pouring good money after bad, and it stops with him. Kentucky Senator Rand Paul actually just got off the phone with President Trump. Of course, the senator is a member of that key Foreign Relations Committee. Of course, he wields tremendous influence on Capitol Hill. Senator, good to see you.
Good to see you, Neil. Thanks for having me.
This issue and this money, why now, Senator? You just got off the phone with the president. Why now?
Well, you know, I think most Americans would support the president on this. I mean, we don't like to see our money going to countries that burn our flag. In Pakistan, they incarcerate Christians. There's a Christian, Asia Bibi. He's been on death row for 5 years. They put Dr. Shakil Afridi in jail for 33 years. He's the guy that helped us get bin Laden. They seemed to look the other way when bin Laden was there for over a decade. So, yeah, I think Americans agree with the president. We ought to quit sending good money after bad. And what I discussed with the president is I have an idea for using some of that money here at home. We got bridges, we've got roads that need repair. Why don't we keep that money at home and let's put it into rebuilding our infrastructure here at home?
Do you know, well, first of all, on that, what did he say to that idea?
Well, I don't like to characterize what he tells me personally, but I can tell you that he's talked a lot about infrastructure, and he also has talked a lot about not liking money going to Pakistan. So I think he'd probably be receptive to it. And I did tell him we'd introduce it next week, and so we'll see. We'll see what the administration says. But I think it's very, very popular with the people. But it's one of those things that if you walk around Washington and talk to people, nobody in Washington is for keeping any of that money at home. They would send more money than you can imagine everywhere in the world, but they never will consider keeping any of it at home. But President Trump has said repeatedly during his campaign, throughout his presidency, that we need to spend that money here at home. And I'm going to put legislation out there, and let's see if we can get Congress to vote on spending some of that money here.
You know, when you were running for president, to say nothing of your senatorial career, you also had serious questions about the billions we give abroad and to get little of it back, certainly even in respect, let alone you know, thanks. Do we have to do a wholesale sort of step back from foreign aid in general, that Pakistan might be the tipping point?
Yeah, I think at the very least, if you're giving people money, they ought to be your friend, and they ought to behave, and they ought to be your ally. There are some people who question whether Pakistani intelligence actually cooperates with a Haqqani network that actually kills our soldiers across the border in Afghanistan. So, yeah, I think there ought to be conditions to it. We also shouldn't give money to countries, one, that have mass protests burning our flag, and where the government itself condones putting Christians in jail for gossip. Basically, someone said that this woman said something bad about Islam, and she denies it, and she happens to be a Christian, and they've had her in jail now for 8 years. Her name's Asia Bibi. There's no reason in the world we should give them 1 penny when they put Christians in jail or when they put people in jail that helped us to get bin Laden. That makes me think that they really don't care about being our ally.